What if I told you there was a movie released in the early 80s about an unstable Vietnam vet who wages war against a small town? You might jump up and tell me, hey, you're talking about First Blood, the first movie in the Rambo series. But what if I told you I'm not talking about First Blood, but a movie with a very similar plot? You might tell me it was someone trying to cash in on the success of First Blood. Well, then I would tell you that this movie came out before First Blood, and it starred Dirk Benedict, a face us Generation X kids knew well from Battlestar Galactica and the A-Team. If I told you all that, and if you had HBO in the early 80s, you might scream, Ruckus! Ruckus, as I said, starred Dirk Benedict as Kyle Hansen, a Vietnam vet with serious PSD. It also starred the head-spinning Cyrus, Linda Blair, as Jenny Bowles, the daughter-in-law of Sam Bowles, and mother of Bobby Bowles. If the name Ruckus doesn't sound that familiar to you, maybe you saw it under one of his other names. It was first released in July of 1980, Ruckus in Maddox County. But by August, as it went somewhat into a wider release, it was retitled as The Loner. It was also released in some areas as Eat My Smoke. But for us kids that was sick and taking a day off school in the early 80s, and we had HBO, we knew it as Ruckus. The movie seemed to be in heavy rotation in the early part of the 80s, but then it disappeared, and now it's almost forgotten. So what is this movie about? Well, as I said, it's about Kyle, a Vietnam vet with some serious PSD, and he's now a drifter. While stopping in a small southern town to eat, local bullies begin to harass him. And the situation turns violent as he has an altercation with a southern hick that some may refer to as a redneck named Homer.
Kay Hansen. Did you ever see this boy? Are you listening to me? Huh?
Talkative feller, ain't he, Sarge?
Yeah, he is.
I want to throw him in the river and give him a bath. He won't stink so damn bad.
Not a bad idea.
What do you think about that, hippie? Why, you punk.
Kyle runs off into the woods, but thanks to his special force training, he manages not to get taken by the deputies. Again, as you can see, it sounds a lot like First Blood. Kyle spends his first night on the run in a barn at the home of Jenny Bowles. She's a young mother, and her husband, well, he's missing in action from Vietnam, and is presumed dead. Jenny has a son, Bobby Bowles, and her father-in-law is Sam, the richest man in town. In the morning, after Sam leaves for a business trip, Jenny encounters Kyle, who walks into her home uninvited. Having heard about all the excitement the day before and the rumors of this dangerous man on the run, Jenny is frightened, but soon finds that she has a lot of sympathy for Kyle. The local sheriff, Sheriff Jeffro, is on the case to find Kyle, and he learns that he was once in a military psychiatric hospital. Around town, several of the local men plan to hunt down Kyle and kick him out of their town. Several of the townspeople flee into the woods trying to find Kyle. Kyle, he's still hanging out with Jenny, and the two are riding motorcycles together. Jenny, now feeling more comfortable with Kyle, invites her into her home and offers to wash his clothes, and even allows him to take a bath. Meanwhile, a number of the townsmen and the local law enforcement stake out the house. But Kyle's too smart to be captured by these southern hicks, so he blows up some cars and steals a truck. That leads to a high-speed chase. Kyle crashes the truck into a river but escapes. But those southern hicks, they think he's dead. That is, until they can't find a body. Soon, Kyle returns to Jenny's house, where she tells him the sheriff has just told her that her husband has been confirmed deceased by the military. Later that night, Kyle teams up with Jenny and Bobby, and they head to the local fair, where they spend an evening at the carnival. That is until a local farmer named Cece spots Kyle with Jenny and calls Deputy Dave. And while they're at the local fair, Jenny takes Bobby to the bathroom. Two men beat up Kyle and kidnap him. The men take him to a farm, Homer's farm, where they hold him hostage in a grain elevator. Locked in the cage, causes Kyle to have flashbacks of his time in Vietnam. The following morning, Deputy Dave brings a large gathering of men to the grain elevator to harass and beat up Kyle. They think it'd be easy to beat up Kyle, but Kyle can fight his own fight. He beats up several of the men before leaping from the grain elevator into the river below. The townspeople run down to the river to find him, but they can't find him. Where did he go? Well, he's hiding under the water. He then steals a boat, and the locals get in their boat to chase after him. Jenny hears gunfire from the river and picks up Sam and the sheriff from our house to bring them to the scene. Using liquid bottles found in his boat, Kyle's made Molotov cocktails and hurls them at his attackers from the shore, causing the boats to explode and leave them stranded on a small island in the river. But this doesn't stop the men from hunting Kyle, so Kyle camouflages himself with mud and terrorizes the attackers with a number of traps and makeshift weapons. This sounds a lot like First Blood. Jenny, Sam, and the sheriff arrive on the scene as Kyle's attackers flee in fear. Sam has been informed by Jenny that Kyle is harmless, declares that Kyle may stay on the river island and have it all to himself. Jenny's happy. Kyle's got his own place now, his own little island. She stands there and watches him wash the mud from his body in the river. Now, I can't tell you if this movie's good, great, or bad. I do remember watching it quite a bit, but we're talking the early 80s. At the time, to a kid around 10 or 11, it was a lot of fun. And I believe HBO started to really show this around 1983. Maybe they cashed in on the success of the A-Team to get kids like me to say, hey, look, it's the Face Man in a movie. I know that's why I watched it. And as you can see, there's a lot of similarities to First Blood, but this movie was released 2 years before that film. And although there are some similarities, they're completely different stories. Now, the movie was released a few times on VHS and did get a DVD release in the year 2000. There's even a movie called Ruckus 2, but it doesn't seem to have anything at all to do with this movie. It's not even one of those trying to cash in on the name sequels, just a totally different thing. Well, what if you want to watch this movie? What if you want to watch the full movie today? Well, it's on YouTube. And I don't mean you can buy it on YouTube or rent it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Somebody uploaded it, and it's pretty good quality. It's right there on YouTube. You can watch it. If you do, let me know what you think about it. I might watch it tonight. Anyway, does anyone else out there remember Dirk Benedict in the forgotten movie Ruckus?
That's it, Ben. Hey, boy!
Watch it! Stop him over there!
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.